Nintendo Cartridge Society presents NCS Classic Edition, The Legend of Zelda, Part 1. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick, joined as always by my co-host Mark Mitchell. Mark,
How's it going?
go. That was a very, as a matter of course, how's it going?
I was thrown because you're Patrick Ellers. I just wanted to.
What did I say?
You just said Patrick.
Oh, I am Patrick
you didn't say
Ellers.
you're wrong. You didn't say your last name wrong.
That would, if I was like, I'm Patrick Smith, with me as always is Mark Mitchell.
Patrick Ellers.
Ellers. Mark, what are we doing today? We're talking about...
We're making up for our previous mistakes.
Yes, that's right. Ooh, man. Last time we did a little play along, we said, hey, let's play a game that no one likes and is available on hardware that no one has plugged into their TVs anymore.
We're talking, of course, about Metroid Other M.
We are, yes, that's what we did last time. This time for our play along, we said, hey, let's make everything better. Let's make everyone happy, selves included.
What is the balm that is going to heal this broken world?
Yes, and the balm, of course, is The Legend of Zelda.
For the Nintendo Entertainment System.
That's right. We are taking it all the way back to 1986, and we are going to play the original Legend of Zelda. Mark, have you put any thought into how we're going to play it? Probably on the NES Mini, right?
Yeah, I think so. That makes the most sense. I mean, it's available. The great thing about it is it's available pretty cheaply anywhere.
And worth the $5,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is what it costs to download it on like the 3DS or the Wii.
Really? NES games are $5?
I think so, yeah.
That's wow.
High, right? I mean, I think for Zelda, I think that's a fair price.
Totally. For Balloon Flight.
For Balloon Fight, yeah, I don't... Balloon Fight coming up a lot today. Talking about Balloon Fight a lot. I don't think we'll ever do a Balloon Fight one of these.
I'd rather die.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, The Legend of Zelda. Do you have what are your early memories of this game?
I did not play the original Legend of Zelda until it was on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
That's the version that I played the first time.
What was your first Zelda game then? Like where's your entry point to the series?
I think I actually think that Majora's Mask is the first one I ever...
Whoa!
Yeah, is the first one I ever picked up, and I rented it from a Blockbuster video, and I didn't understand it.
Right.
So I did not like it.
I mean, that was my experience with it as well, but I'd played the previous 5 games.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until later that the next one I played was A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then and that was not that far away from each other. Like, rented Majora's Mask, did not care for it because I didn't understand it at all. Had a friend who was like, "You've never played a Zelda game?
Mark,
You've
what's
never
wrong with
played
you?"
A Link to the Past?"
Right.
So borrowed A Link to the Past. Yeah, I think that's the order of operations. I think that's the way things happened.
For me, I feel like all of my friends had the original Legend of Zelda, but I was sort of peripherally connected to it, but really didn't sit down to play it on my own, probably until I purchased it on the Wii, really. But I love Zelda 2. That was a game that I had played and mastered all by myself, and Link to the Past is one of my favorite games ever. So for me, the original Legend of Zelda is almost like the zero issue. You know what I mean? It's like the one kind of before my consciousness really sets in. I've played the game before, certainly, and beaten it before, but I don't know, it's not in my veins the way a lot of the other early Zeldas are.
When I was 19, my friends and I, a group of friends and I, all had Game Boy Advance, the SPs.
Yeah.
And they were re-releasing Super Nintendo games and NES games on the Game Boy Advance. And so we all had different games, and we would just swap them among each other, and that's how I played The Legend of Zelda for the first time.
That's how you got your NES education. That's
In
pretty.
a lot of ways,
Yeah,
yeah, because we had an NES growing up, but it was in a lot of ways like a Mario machine, and it
right.
wasn't until later that the broader world of what the NES had to offer.
Yeah. Also, I feel like at the time, like you're playing the NES and you're getting those like Mario games, but you're also like, oh, I guess I'm playing a lot of Fester's Quest or like this bad the Ghostbusters game
I mean,
or
I don't know that if even if I had Legend of Zelda, that I would have known what to do with it
yeah.
at
Well,
that time in my life.
well, and so that's one of the just qualities about this game that like you don't know what to do. It doesn't spoon feed. Am I saying this right? Spoon feed you
Spoon
anything.
feed.
Spoon. uh, so I'll confess, I'm a little bit nervous about us playing through it now. That like we're going to hit some weird wall and just be like, well, I don't know what to do.
I think it's going to take us longer than I'm anticipating.
Let's lay out just a general roadmap for so this is just sort of our introduction to what we're doing. It's telling you, hey, find a way to play Zelda and then play along with us. And then next week we're going to come back having played through the first 3 dungeons. So depending on how long that takes us, the episode after that will either be the last 4 dungeons or just the next 2. And we'll make that call. That'll be a game day decision. But yeah, I like the idea here being that we think we can tackle the first 3 dungeons. And that's not really the game's not super linear, right? So there will be a lot of just general overworld exploration that happens between these dungeons, and I there's really no way to put like the limits or parameters on that. um I don't know. I'm looking forward to sort of getting lost in this, but like I almost get a little anxious at the idea of how lost we can get, accidentally stumbling into dungeon 6 or something.
I think it's just great that we're not Twitch streaming it because I think people would be furious if they watched us play it.
Yeah, probably. Do you want to drive this time? So when we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
when we did Other M, I did all the playing and Mark did all the note taking, which very good because anytime we said anything remotely positive, he wrote it down because we would not remember it otherwise. Um, but yeah, how do you feel your 2D Zelda chops are?
I mean, like everything else, we can see how it goes.
You
I don't want to. I don't want
don't
to make
wanna-
great claims.
Right, you don't
And
want to
then
make
just
any statements either way.
Yeah, I feel like it's like driving a car, or where I'm so much worse at it when somebody else is with me.
You feel like you're a bad driver when people are with you?
I feel a little because I get a little like nervous. If it's like somebody I like know and am comfortable with, it's not a big deal. But if it's somebody who I'm like driving for the first time,
Uh-huh.
I'm a little off my game because I'm always concerned about them.
Now, we've been in the car together several times.
Mm-hmm.
Have I made you nervous? Well, or made you like self-conscious about your driving?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. But there was a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know. I also feel prideful of my driving, right? That I'm like I'm a pretty good driver. But I think if someone were to tell me that I were a bad driver, I would feel like it was a personal attack. Does that resonate for you?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't
I
know.
guess we just don't want to be bad at anything. Same reason we don't want to do Twitch streaming.
Yeah, all of this to say is, was that a sentence?
Yeah. All of which is to say is exactly what you said.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Okay, because it wasn't. That's not what it felt like came out. All of this is to say that yeah, I'll be handling the controller at least for the first part.
Sure. Do you have specific fond memories of Zelda or anything that you're specifically looking forward to experiencing again?
This original game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have really fond memories of it. Again, because it's that like time in my life when like all of my friends we were playing this, and we all had the A Link to the Passport as well, and so we were doing like Four Swords Adventure for the first time, System Link, like all that kind of crazy stuff. It was a very Zelda centric time in my life.
Oh, that sounds great.
But it'll be fun to revisit this game because I don't know that I've played it since then. And at that point, that's like 10 years ago, more than 10 years
even
ago.
more. I'm sort of excited to because it seems like the things that I'm expecting here, like that I'm anxious about, like getting lost. That seems like a quality of Breath of the Wild. We are recording and putting this out before Breath of the Wild comes out. So I don't know. It for me feels like it's going to be a fun like little appetizer to that. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I just like being in that world. Let me ask you this: Are we going to play Second Quest at all?
I feel like we'll see how it goes.
Sure. We'll see. We'll see if we don't hate it by the end. We could hate it.
We could hate anything is possible.
That's right. That's what makes this so exciting. Mark, anything else to add about The Legend of Zelda in general, or about our specific playthrough here, or what you hope other people get out of it? I'm sorry I had add that last part. That last part sounded like you had something specific and I was cueing you for it or something.
No, but I think it would be fun. Just like I haven't played this for more than 10 years. When's the last time you played through it?
I was living in Chicago, so probably 7 years ago.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting and fun to like revisit it.
Yeah, so hop on with us and experience a game that's like 30 years old. And yeah, that'll be a good time. So beat those first 3 dungeons, get those first 3 parts of the Triforce, and then check back in with us next week.